Today I'm going to show how to make the most notable protein cookies, yummies that you've ever had in your life. I have been working on these for years and years. Since I started nursing school, I got really into perfecting my craft. But what you want here is that high protein, yummy, delicious, high protein, yummy protein ball. Then I've gotcha. I'm gonna get some ingredients out that we're gonna need. Every time it changes a little bit, and I want you to also know that everything's a rough estimate. If you want exact, then we can try to get exact, but we'll get as close as we can. Okay, so I've got the ingredients here. We're gonna push some of these aside. Date. Did I mention this recipe is high fiber? We're gonna need some of these. What I would recommend doing is I get a thermal cup and then I get some hot water, some boiling hot water, and I'm gonna let these sit while we make the batter, if you will. I did not get pitted dates, so you're gonna have to learn to pit the dates yourself. Luckily, all you need is a butter knife. I wouldn't recommend doing this either. With years of practice. Yeah, it doesn't matter how many dates you peel, I just peel them until it feels right. And this is for the date caramel. If you've never heard of date caramel, this is a beautiful little treat. If you like dates, you probably like it. If you don't like dates, you might not like it. You also need to like peanut butter. In a way, these taste like Snickers. If you like Snickers and Reese's combined, then I don't get why you couldn't have fun with this. To me, that feels like enough. I like to wait till there's steam coming off of here. It could boil your hand at that rate. I can still wash my hands into there. No good, no good. I'm starting to see some steam, so I put them in here with the hot water. And since it's thermal, that keeps the heat for longer. Next, we're gonna start with the big dogs. The peanut butter. This is peanut butter, organic peanut butter, yeah, that I got from Costco. I love Costco because you can really get a lot of stuff for a decent price. It is actually really expensive, but the good thing is you go there, you don't need to grocery shop for 3 more months, at least. I like to take a butter knife, fills off of here. You bet your bottom it's gonna spill. That's just part of the process. If you don't do this, you're gonna end up with a very hard peanut butter bottom. And you guys are gonna not like this if you like exact measurements. Let's say a half cup is gonna go in here. Could even be 3/4 cup. Next, what I'm gonna add, protein powder. You can really use any protein powder of your choice. This is one of my favorites, multi-collagen protein powder. Someone once told me it has metals in it. I don't really know. So I added about 5 scoops of this, which equates to about 1/4 cup of protein powder. Ooh, mix it around. Mine's about this consistency. And some things that I've been liking to add now. It always switches, but oats, great in fiber for you. And some flaxseed in an old peanut butter jar. Go through a lot of peanut butter. Cinnamon, maple syrup, salt, non-negotiable. Let's add that in now. Sea salt is probably better, and if you don't have it, it's gonna be not as good, and that's just the truth. Cinnamon, I'd like it if I had a scooper of cinnamon, but I don't, so I would say at least a teaspoon. This is Ceylon cinnamon. I bulk ordered it about a week ago. I use cinnamon all the time, and I heard Ceylon was better for you. Could be a myth, we're not gonna know. Now we get out the blender. I have about a 1/3 cup of oats here. Put it into the blender. Then I take some more flaxseed. This is already ground, but I mean, this is about 1/8 cup. I'm eyeing it here. You're gonna go to your blender. Screw that lid on tight. And then you're gonna have a fine little fairy dust powder of oats, oat flour, if you will, and flaxseed ground, all mixed together. I'm gonna start pouring some of this in here. Do little at a time. Again, since it's rough estimate, you don't wanna get too much each time, you never know. So you start with a little, you mix it, and then you see the texture still like this. You're trying and begging yourself not to eat a bite, so you don't, but you're gonna pour a little more in, because you want it to be able to hold up on its own. Also, I will recommend not to add too much flaxseed unless you really like the taste of flaxseed. I don't think it tastes that good, but it's got that fiber, baby. This is a really good point. You can see it starting to not stick on the walls. That's what you want, but it needs a little more. Keep your blender out. You don't have to clean it, but you can. I don't care. Then I'm gonna add about a tablespoon of maple syrup. Add how much you like depending on your sweetness, especially with your protein powder. Mine's already a little sweet. And then we get a good mix, okay? Should be a cookie dough-like consistency. Wow. For your date caramel now, we're gonna set this aside for a minute. You can put it in the fridge, maybe let it harden up. For the date caramel, salt, cinnamon, peanut butter, honey, or maple syrup. These are interchangeable, guys. I'm gonna stick to maple syrup for right now. Your dates have been simmering for about 15 minutes now. The water has kind of turned datey. This is good, this is sweet water. Save a little bit. Spill some on the counter if you want. Then you can dump the rest. But now the dates are gonna be good and soft, so you can dump them into your blender. Get some of your cinnamon. And look, I just so happen to get a cinnamon spoon. Salt. I would just get a little dollop of peanut butter, however much you like really. More peanut buttery, you like it. If you don't like dates that much, but you really like peanut butter, add some more peanut butter. And that's just the fun in it, isn't it, little guys? Just a little bit of maple syrup. We're gonna leave this there. We wanna see if we can make the date caramel without adding that first, but if we can't, then we'll add it. And it'll be okay, don't worry. I can see you guys are worried, don't worry. Stick it on the blender and we're gonna blend. It might make a terrible noise. Just what I was afraid of. We're gonna add a little bit of the water. This is special water, remember it's date caramel water. Spill some on the counter too while you're at it. Now you can see it flowing down with those chunks of dates at the bottom. Ooh. You're gonna need one of these. Spatulas, these are the best. You might have noticed that white one I was using earlier. That's one of my favorite ones because it can really get in there. It mixes, it cleans the sides, but nothing gets stuck to it. You know the ones with the big dents right here? And there's always the batter in between. You can't just get that batter off. I like ones that don't have it. Oops, come on. My white one has some grooves at the top. Not the biggest fan of that. Back to this. He's gonna need maybe a little more water. They might need a little more water. She might need a little more water. I don't know. That's the sound of more water. We're gonna go again. I'm gonna use these, and they're gonna be little cups these times instead of balls. But just know, I usually make balls, and people love the balls. Take a little. Now we're gonna push it down. Look at these bad boys. So this is like the little cookie part of it. Now we have the date caramel. You don't have to use all the date caramel. Look at that texture.
Look at this.
Better than peanut butter texture. I would put about a tablespoon into each. Now just try to flatten the date caramel on top. Kind of hard. But if you have the perfect spatula like me, not hard. I will warn you guys, with this recipe, don't eat it if you have a peanut butter allergy. You're more than welcome to use, what is it called? Almond butter. I think almond butter tastes like cheese. If that's up your alley, pretty. Now put them in the freezer. You don't need your blender anymore. Chocolate chip time, baby. Coconut oil, a little bowl. I'd recommend one of these bad boys. You can see I've used it for chocolate before. I should put it in the washer. Pour however much chocolate you like in there. I would say I have maybe a half cup. Scoop a little bit of coconut oil. And you're gonna pop in the microwave for about a minute. Give it a stir. And since I took it out too early, you can still tell it needs heated up. I'm gonna set this on the counter. I clean the counters anyway, so. And then we can take this, put a nice little layer on top of each of our little cups. We're gonna take our bad boys out of the freezer, set them down like so, and I'll put probably a scoop on each of them, and then we'll flatten it out, and this is important, more sea salt. I'm sorry. Now I got these beautiful babies. They're gonna need to be in the fridge for at least 2 hours. We're gonna sprinkle some salt on it. Not too much, just a little flakies. Right? No, don't eat them yet. See ya in 2 hours. In the meantime, I'm gonna do some dishes, okay? I know what you're thinking. In that time she got glasses? Yes, I got glasses. It's been about 2 hours, 3:19 now, so probably a little less actually. And I am gonna get them out. And we're gonna take a look at these glasses. Yum diddly lum. Now, let's take a deeper dive into these, okay? Come on. All right, I got a container that I can vacuum seal them if I want in here. Thank you, Grandma. I don't know how to do the vacuum seal stuff because I don't have a vacuum sealer, but I do use the containers. Let's get into this. And it does make a mess, so trigger warning. Ooh. Ooh. So this is what we got as our final, and it's only fitting that we took a bite. I'm liking it.